Allah Azza wa Jal about the ugly and painful punishment in this dunya and the akhirah of those who spread rumors about the believing man and believing woman, especially when it comes to their modesty, their chastity, their iffah, and their purity. And we talked about the incident of Aisha radiallahu anha and how she was accused and a rumor was spread about her. The one who led that rumor was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, and some other believing men and women also fell into this scandal and made a mistake. So, going on with that story, verse number 19, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحِبُّونَ أَن تَشِيعَ الْفَاحِشَةُ. Verily those who love, who prefer, يُحِبُّونَ, they like, they want to, تَشِيعَ الْفَاحِشَةُ. Sha'a actually means to spread the things around. That's why there's a bookstore in Pakistan, it's called Darul Isha'a. That's the place where that distributes and spreads books. So Isha'a means to spread things. Spread what? Al-fahisha, evil, immoral acts, slanders and accusations about the chastity and the iffah of believing men and women. فِي الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا among the mu'mineen. For them is what? لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. For them is a painful punishment in this dunya, in the akhirah. In this dunya, they will have the punishment, the had, and will be implemented on them. And in the akhirah, a greater adab awaits them. Sometimes people ask a tricky question to those who are profanes. But where in the Quran it says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Those who believe, for them is a great punishment. You have to go with the context, right? فِي الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So sometimes it's a tricky question for those memorized the Quran, because it doesn't really go together with the meaning, right? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Those who believe, for them is a great punishment. No. فِي الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. طيب والله يعلم, and Allah knows, وأنتم لا تعلمون, you do not know. ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته وأن الله غفور رحيم. If it wasn't for the fadl, the favor, and the rahmah and the mercy of Allah, and the fact that He was ra'uf and kind, rahim, merciful, then you would have been fell and found yourself into many, many difficulties and problems. The similar verse is repeated a couple of times. Allah has mentioned, if it wasn't for His mercy, if it wasn't because of His bounty, His rahmah, there would have been a lot of chaos and more problems this community would have fell in. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, all who believe, لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. Do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. And spreading rumors and doing these kind of things, that's following the footsteps of shaitan. And وَمَن يَتَّبِعْ خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ, whoever follows the footsteps of shaitan, when you start accepting the whispers of shaitan, slowly he takes so much power over you that he will start commanding you. فَإِنَّهُ يَأْمُرُ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ. He will start commanding you. At first, it's just whispers and suggestions, do this and do that. But slowly, when you fall into his trap so much, you're almost as if you're under his command. Right? So يَأْمُرُ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ. He will command you to do fahsha, which is immoral acts. Munkar is also evil. The difference between fahsha and munkar is fahsha is that which we naturally see as evil and wrong. It's just our nafs finds it disgusting. And munkar is that thing which the sharia of Islam finds it to be wrong. So that's the difference between fahsha and munkar. وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ. And if it wasn't for the favor and the rahmah of Allah, مَا زَكَى مِنْكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ أَبَدًا. None of you would have ever been purified and become pure. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يُزَكِّي مَن يَشَاءُ. But Allah is the one who purifies you, whomsoever He wants. وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. He is all hearing and He is all knowing. So if it wasn't for the rahmah and the mercy of Allah, then He wouldn't have made anyone pure and exonerated them. Like in this example where Aisha radiallahu anha was the one that was blamed. If Allah didn't reveal verses regarding her, then she wouldn't have been exonerated. Right? So none of you should either also. Allah says, وَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't do tazkiyah of yourself. Don't purify yourself and say, I'm like this, I'm like that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يُزَكِّي مَن يَشَاءُ. Allah is the one who does the tazkiyah and the purification of whomsoever He wants. He's all hearing and He's all knowing. So, and we said that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was the father of Aisha radiallahu anha, and he was being generous to Mistah, his cousin, who was one of the believing men who fell into this problem, where also accidentally partook in spreading this rumor. So Abu Bakr he used to, every month, there was a period of time that he used to give money to him, to his cousin Mistah, because he was poor, he didn't have much. So after Abu Bakr found out that Mistah, his cousin, was doing this, he was very, what would any of us do, right? If someone talked about like that about our family, our daughters, we would perhaps start take such a revenge that would physically harm that person, right? But all he did was, he didn't even physically harm him. He just said, I'm going to stop giving the stuff I used to give, the money I used to give you, I'm just going to stop doing that, right? So Allah, he took an oath, and he said, Allah, I won't do that anymore, I will stop giving you that money. So Allah says, وَلَا يَأْتَلِي أُولُو الْفَضْلِ مِنكُمْ وَسَعَةٍ. Those who are virtuous, those who have fadl, and those who have sa'ah, وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ, those who have financial muscle, they shouldn't swear and take an oath that they will give to the ulil qurba, is their family, wal masakin, those who are poor, wal muhajirin fi sabilillah, those who migrated in the path of Allah. So here, Mistah, his cousin, he actually falls into all of these categories. He's the ulil qurba, is his family, his cousin, wal masakin, and he's poor, he didn't have much, wal muhajirin fi sabilillah, and also he migrated from Makkah to Medina. So, first of all, al-qurba wal-masakin is not really a compliment, right? He's your family and he's poor. So even after that, if Abu Bakr still needed some convincing, some more convincing to do, Allah praises Mustah and He says, look, he's muhajir. And those who are muhajir in the path of Allah, they're what? Their sins are forgiven, right? The person who does Hajj, his sin is forgiven. The person who accepts Islam, his sin is forgiven. And the person who does Hijrah, his sin is forgiven. So yes, listen, he made a mistake and he's done something like that, but remember, he's a muhajir, right? He has a virtue, he has a status in the sight of Allah. So just overlook what he has done to you. وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا. And Allah says, let that person forgive and let him yasfahu, overlook. Safha literally in the Arabic language means a page. Safha is a page. And when you turn the page, let him forgive and forget about it completely. It was a new chapter, it was an old chapter, forget about it, now you're in a new chapter, completely forget about what happened. Sometimes people might forgive, but they still carry on those ill and hurtful feelings in their heart, right? So forgive and forget, basically. And here Allah indirectly is referred to Abu Bakr, right? And another place where Allah indirectly referred to Abu Bakr was when he was in the cave with the Prophet when they were migrating to Medina. Allah said, Thani Athnain, the second of the two people was Abu Bakr. The Prophet it comes in Tafsīr, Sha'ari mentions that the Prophet he says, even before I became a prophet, we were always together. We used to race one another with our horses. And then he says, and then I beat him when he came to Nubuwwah, I became a prophet. That's why he followed me. But if he became a prophet, then I would have followed him. There was always together. They were best good companions. Abu Bakr will also be the second person to enter Jannah. The Prophet will be the first one, followed by Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So Abu Bakr is such a great status he holds. Right? He was the first one to believe, and the second one after the Prophet, the second person to believe. He always confirmed the news. Whatever people, the Prophet said, he confirmed it right away. Right? When the Prophet was taken in Mi'raj through the heavens and he experienced all those things, he came back. Some Mufassirun say that when the Prophet left, one of the doors where he left, it was open when he left, and when he came back, the door was still closing, and it was that fast. And the dimension, the time is a whole different place. We don't know the timing of the Akhirah, how that works. But so now when this happened, all the Quraysh and the Kuffar, they were very happy. Like they have another thing to talk about, like, oh, look how crazy this guy is. He's just, making our claim stronger. He says he came in a second, he went and came back from the heavens. So they came in, Abu Bakr, you heard what your companion, your friend said? He's saying this crazy stuff. So he said, did Muhammad say this? Did he really say this? They said, yeah. He said, khalas, that's it. And I believe him. Right? That's what it was called a Siddiq. So he has such great merit and virtue in the sight of Allah. So Allah says, let them not take an oath and say that I'm not going to give money, and continue to be generous to them. Allah says, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا. Let him forgive and let him forget. And then, أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Wouldn't you love for Allah to forgive you? Allahu Ghafur Rahim. Allah is all forgiving, and He is Rahim. And then again, Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions the punishment of those who spread rumors about the believing men and women. Before in the verse, Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ يَرْمُونَ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ, about all believing men and women. Here, He talks about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. He says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَرْمُونَ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ, those who spread rumors and accuse the muhsanat, chaste women who have their iffa, their afif, they're modest. Those who accuse them, al-ghafilat. Ghafilat, like unaware. They're ghafilat, they have no idea about the world that you're talking about. You know, some people are so innocent, right? So they have no idea of certain things, so they're ghafilat. Wal-mu'minat, and they're believing women. Those who accuse them, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, لُعِنُوا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ, they will be cursed in this world and in the akhirah. So this gives us a hint that they will be cursed in this world and the akhirah. This gives us a hint that this verse is about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. Because if it was about anyone else, then tawbah is open for them. They can ask Allah forgiveness and they will be forgiven. And that's why the first verse came. But this one, they're cursed in this world and in the akhirah. So this is about the family of the Prophet ﷺ. And in this world, how they're cursed, the had and the qisas will be implemented on them, and in the akhirah, a great punishment awaits them, which is the adab, the punishment of the fire. So that day, remind them about that day. It's not an easy day that you think maybe you will just go through some punishment about for a day or two. Ayyam ma'dudat. Some group of people say we'll just be in the fire for some day and that's it. It's not like that. That day is a whole different ballgame, right? Your own limbs, your own body, hands and tongues and legs will testify against you. يَوْمَ تَشْهَدُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَلْسِنَتُهُمْ وَأَيْدِيهِمْ وَأَرْجُلُهُم. That day, their tongues, their hands, their legs will testify against them. And in this world, we have complete power. If anything we have complete power over is our own body, our own limbs, right? We're like the dictators for our hands and legs and whatnot. If no one is loyal to us, at least our body is loyal to us. I'm talking because I'm forcing my tongue to talk. It doesn't have a choice. I'm moving my hands because I'm forcing my hands to move. It doesn't have a choice. Right? But on that day, they will come and blame and say, witness, testify against that body of that person, that soul, that it was him who commanded us. It was him who took us there. It was him who did this and him who did that. Right? So it's not an easy day. I don't think that the punishment of Akhirah is something light. That day, their tongues, their hands, their legs will testify against them. بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, about what they used to do. يَوْمَئِذٍ يُوَفِّيهِمُ اللَّهُ دِينَهُمُ الْحَقِّ. On that day, Allah will pay them back completely, fully. دِينَهُمُ الْحَقِّ, what they deserve. Deen means recompense. مَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ, the sovereign, the owner of the day of recompense. So what they deserve, Allah will pay them back fully. وَيَعْلَمُونَ, and so that they will know أَنَّ اللَّهُ الْحَقُّ مُبِينٌ, Allah is the true, and Allah is the one who is perfect in justice. And then the next verse, الْخَبِيثَاتُ لِلْخَبِيثِينَ وَالْخَبِيثُ لِلْخَبِيثَاتِ. The khabithat, it either means evil words or bad things to be said, or it means khabith is the masculine version, khabitha is the feminine version. Meaning khabithat, the evil or impure women, are for the lil-khabithin, for the impure men. Wal-khabithun, and for the impure men, lil-khabithat, for the impure women. That's the natural order of things. Right? If you're a pure person, you will look for someone pure to be your life partner. And if you're someone who's polluted and impure in nature, even if you don't want that, who knows? Maybe you will land into that if you don't make the over, right? وَالطَّيِّبَاتُ لِلطَّيِّبِينَ, and pure females are for pure males, لِلطَّيِّبِينَ. وَالطَّيِّبُونَ, and pure males, لِلطَّيِّبَات, for pure females. أُولَٰئِكَ مُبَرَّؤُونَ مِمَّا يَقُولُونَ, they are the pure male and female. They are mubarra'un, they're clear, they're exonerated, they're free مِمَّا يَقُولُونَ, about what they say. And this talk about Aisha radiallahu anha. She was exonerated, she was made free and made innocent from what they spread about her. لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ, for them will be forgiveness in this world. وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ, and a noble provision in the akhirah, which is Jannah. وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ. Just like they were noble in this world, they will have a noble provision in the hereafter. And then, so the next verse is talking about privacy of people, not to get into people's houses without their permission. You might say, how is this related to the verses that are before? The verses that are before, all of them are talking about not falling into this sin, right? This sin that we're talking about. Here it's talking about the things that might lead you into that sin, like invading people's privacy and just going into someone's house and finding them in a compromising situation, or maybe in their pajamas or they don't have their hijab on. You just go ahead and bulge it and you see them like that. The first time you see them, right? And then you might have thoughts, and then later on you might just fantasize about the thoughts and just keep pursuing those thoughts until it becomes an action. So privacy is a very important and sensitive thing, right? If you find someone's phone somewhere at home or at work or in your car or whatever it is, and they don't have a password, or you know the password, it was your phone, you lent it to them and you gave it back, like don't go into, maybe they left their email open or TikTok, whatever it might be, like sign out of whatever they might have logged into, right? It's people's privacy, because you might see something that you weren't supposed to see. And you might have seen them in an inappropriate picture. Maybe there was a private picture and you saw it, right? That's going to lead you to future things that you might do. So privacy is very important, especially when it comes to falling into the sin. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَدْخُلُوا بُيُوتًا غَيْرَ بُيُوتِكُمْ. All you who believe, don't enter any homes besides your own home. حَتَّى تَسْتَأْنِسُوا, until you made your presence felt there. Whether it's by coughing, whether it's by knocking, whether it's by calling before you come, whatever it might be. Right? As long as it's not your own house, make sure that you do that. But even if it's your own house, let's say you go from work, you go home, and you see the car is parked outside that doesn't belong to you or your family near a garage, you know that guests came. Maybe your wives or your sisters' friends came, they're in the house, in the living room. That's your house, but for that temporary moment, it's not your house, right? Other people are using it, so even then you should start. You might have the key to the house, right? You could just bulge in. No, even though you have the keys, don't open it, knock, and let them open the door, and that way they'll know that. So privacy is very important. Make sure you make your presence felt. وَتُسَلِّمُ عَلَى أَهْلِهَا, and you give salam to the people that are in it before you enter. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, that is better for you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ, so that you may be reminded. Now, if you go to the house and you don't find anyone in there, فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا فِيهَا أَحَدًا, you don't find anyone there, فَلَا تَدْخُلُوهَا, even then don't enter, حَتَّى يُؤْذَنَ لَكُمْ, until permission has been granted to you. Right? And let's say you go home and you find someone there, and they tell you that it's not a right time to come, and they tell you, وَإِنْ قِيلَ لَكُمْ, and if it's said to you, إِرْجِعُوا, go back, then what should you do? فَارْجِعُوا, Allah says, then go back, it's not a problem. It comes to some Sahaba, they used to go to people's houses at the wrong time, just so they can be rejected and act upon this verse. Right? People will tell them, go back. They wouldn't get offended, they'll be like, I'll just go back. I want to act upon this verse. Right? So we shouldn't be offended, we should give people their privacy. Similarly, nowadays, if you call someone or leave them a message and they don't get back, give them time, right? Or don't get offended if they don't reply back or they take time to reply. Everybody has the right to privacy. Who أَزْكَى لَكُمْ, that's more pure for you. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ عَلِيمٌ, Allah is all aware, all knowing of what you do. Now, buyut means any place where someone sleeps. Bath yabit means to spend the night. Buyut is where you spend the night. So, if you sleep at the office, does that become your house? No. It doesn't really mean that. Here, the clarification comes. That لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ, there's no problem for you. أَن تَدْخُلُوا بُيُوتًا غَيْرَ مَسْكُونًا, that if you enter such a house, غَيْرَ مَسْكُونًا, that no one lives in there. It's not a house, not a bedroom, it's a commercial place. Like maybe the masjid. No one sleeps here, it's not one's private bedroom or anything. Or you go to the store, you don't gotta knock before you get in. People want you to come in to make business. So as long as no one lives there, then it's not a problem for you to go without asking or permission, anything like that. فِيهَا مَتَاعٌ لَكُمْ, there's some benefit for you in there. Whether it's a masjid, the market, wherever you go there for a reason. As long as it's not maskuna, as long as no one lives there, it's not inhabited, you can go in. No problem with that. Allahu ya'lamu ma tubdun wa ma taktubun. Allah knows that which you tubdun, that which you make open, expose, وما تكتمون, and that which you hide. Right? قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم, tell the believing men يغضوا من أبصارهم, to lower their gazes, ويحفظوا فروجهم, and protect their furuj, the private parts. So first it comes to block off and put down and lower your gazes, because that's the first thing that affects a person. The facilities we have, these are all things that come and later on affect the heart. So to lower their gazes and protect their private parts. ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ, that is more pure for them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ, Allah is all aware, He's all acquainted. He has the news of all what they yasna. Sana yasna, it's translated as to do, but it means more than do. Like for example, to plan something. A factory is called masna. A factory is called masna. It comes from the same word. In a factory, things are not just manufactured. People, there's the engineers are there, the scientists are there. They all plan way before they start manufacturing something. A lot of blueprints and a lot of planning goes ahead. So a lot of things happen. So Allah is all aware of all the plans and all the manufacturing and all the things that you're doing, right? And Allah khabirun bima yasna'un. And then, so now that was for the believing men, this is for the believing women. وَقُولُ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, and tell the believing women يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ, that they should also lower their gaze. Right? One time, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, the blind Sahabi, he came into the house of the Prophet, and the mothers of the believers, they said, Ya Rasulullah, he's blind. He doesn't see, so what happened? So the Prophet said, are you also blind? You also don't have eyes? You should lower your gaze too. It's not only for them. Not just for your own protection, but women have beauty in their eyes. You should conceal that. وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ, and they should also protect their furuj. وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتَهُنَّ, and they should not expose, make clear, make apparent their beauty. إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, except for what's obvious. Except for what's obvious. Like the height of a person, or how skinny, or how, those things you can't really cover, right? So the things that are naturally there, you're not obliged to cover that. But all the other beauties that you can cover, you should cover. وَلْيَضْرِبْنَ بِخُمُرِهِنَّ عَلَى جُيُوبِهِنَّ, and they should place their khumur, we talked about what khumur is, the extra scarf that women have, they should place that over their chest, the cavity. They should place that over their head. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates in a hadith, she says that may Allah Azza wa Jal have mercy on the early immigrant women. This is in Bukhari. Those females who migrated from Makkah to Medina, may Allah have mercy on them. Why? She said, when Allah revealed this verse, that women should place the khumr on their chest, she said they tore their woolen dresses that they used to wear, waist binding cloth that was tight, or apron. And she said they took that, they ripped those things, and they used those to cover their heads and faces with those things. Right? So, right, they're hesitant when they came to the verse. You know, sometimes people say, yeah, you're telling me this, where is this in the Quran? Or you're telling me to keep a beard, where is it in the Quran? Right? People say that, it's fine, no problem. Where is it in the Quran? So when it comes to these things, you can't even say where is it in the Quran, right? You can't even say it because it's right there, directly, very clear. There's nothing ambiguous or unclear about it. You should place your scarf over your chest, right? There's so many different ways of, the scarf is being placed nowadays. We're not trying to judge or criticize anyone, but it's in the Quran, right? So it shouldn't be just, sometimes the scarf goes very high back, right? The guards in Masjid al-Haram, Makki. So one time, there was this family, there was a sister, we went from America, the hijab is different here, hijab over there is different. So she had her scarf going all the way back. And this lady came and she smacked us. What are you doing? Put it down, Where you get this from, this whole thing? And they were very offended because in America no one touches anyone, right? But she just came and smacked it. Put it down. What are you doing? So, and then sometimes the scarf is just wrapped around. The purpose of it is to cover your body, but sometimes the hijab just wrapped on the neck and goes back. This is like completely left open purposely. Going completely against what the word said. right? Sometimes it's loose, it's just coming off. Maybe there's too much oil that's just slipping off or something, but it should be tightened then. وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتَهُنَّ, and they should not expose their beauty except who? لِبُعُولَتِهِنَّ, except to their husbands. Okay? So Ba'al is a husband, Ba'al, with a ayn. With a ghayn, Baghal is actually a mule, donkey. Okay? So in the Quran, وَإِذِ امْرَأَةٌ خَافَتْ مِنْ بَعْلِهَا نُشُوزًا. If a woman is scared from her husband, بَعْلِهَا نُشُوز, that he's gonna whatever. Someone read وَإِذِ امْرَأَةٌ خَافَتْ مِنْ بَغْلِهَا. Just a mistake. Like, if a woman is scared of her donkey, that he disobeys her, the donkey disobeys her. And so one letter, one haraka, one nuqta can change the meaning completely. Ba'al is husband, Baghal is donkey. So she can show it to لِبُعُولَتِهِنَّ, to her husband. أو آبائهن, or to her father, grandfather. أو آباء بُعُولَتِهِنَّ, or to the father of her husband. أو أبنائهن, or to her sons. أو أبناء بُعُولَتِهِنَّ, or to the sons of her husband. What does that mean? It means the husband had children, sons from another marriage. Sons of her husband. أبناء بُعُولَتِهِنَّ, أو إخوانهن, or her brothers. أو بني إخوانهن, or the children of her, sons of her brother. أو بني أخواتهن, or the sons of our sister. أو نسائهن, or her women, meaning her friends, her female friends. That's not a problem. أو ما ملكت أيمانهن, or what their right hand possesses, meaning their slaves. Back in the days, they were slaves. أو التابعين غير أولي الإربة, or such men who are غير أولي الإربة, who don't have any passion or desires in those things. Whether they're elderly men, they're uncles, they're elderly men, they don't have any such desires. Or men who've been castrated. Back in the days, they used to do that for whatever reason. And if a man doesn't have that thing in him, either he's old, that's fine. Right? Hijab is not that strict when it comes to people like that. من الرجال أو الطفل, or children, الذين لم يظهروا على عورات النساء, those who don't have any idea about the awra of nisa, about the awra of women. They're very innocent, very children-like. Then also relaxed, hijab is relaxed in those scenarios. وَلَا يَضْرِبْنَا بِأَرْجُلِهِنَّ, and they shouldn't stamp with their feet when they're walking. They shouldn't stamp with their feet. Al-yadrib means to hit. بِأَرْجُلِهِنَّ, رِجل means leg. They shouldn't stamp and hit the floor with their legs. People, we have those high heels, right? People walk by, you can hear them from like a block away. They shouldn't make noise while walking. Whatever shoes you wear, make sure it doesn't make noise while you're walking. Right? And you don't have, sometimes people say it's winter and I need to wear boots and it's raining. You can always find boots that don't have those heels. Those Ugg boots, I'm not sponsored for Uggs, but those Ugg boots are flat and very soft. When they hit the floor, you can't even hear them walk. So they shouldn't do that either. لِيُعْلَمَ مَا يُخْفِيهِنْ, so that it can be known of what they're hiding, مِنْ زِينَتِهِنَّ, of their beauty.
Can you explain what is malakat amainakum?
Malaka, it actually means people who are under you, you own them. Literally means that which your right hand possesses. Meaning people, back when they were slaves, right? You used to buy slaves and they used to be your property. You used to own them. That's why the hadith says that 3 things will follow a person to his grave: his family, his wealth, and his amal. His family we get, his amal we get, but how about his wealth? How does his wealth follow him to the grave, right? Wealth is talking about the slaves that he owned, because they're part of a person's asset. That was, back in the days. Nowadays, a whole different meaning of what slavery is, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it means. Good question.
But why did Allah permitted men to have?
So how do we get slaves? Like we said, nowadays slavery has a whole different meaning. Nowadays people, go into lands and countries and just invade people's lands and homes, enslave them forcefully without their consent, and then kidnap them, put them into ships for days and months to travel, and sell them without their own will, right? That's wrong. That's not a legitimate way of making enslaving someone. Back in the days, how slavery came into play. So there used to be a war, right? And after the war, those who were captured, prisoners of war, you can either, and this happens even nowadays, prisoners of war, they were supposed to be killed in battle, but somehow they survived. And if you look into World War II, what they used to do with prisoners of war, line them up and finish, right? So you're like, you know what, I won't kill you, I'll let you live, but you gotta serve me. So that's actually a favor you're doing to someone by enslaving them. And by enslaving them doesn't mean you take away their human rights. That also is a misunderstanding, right? You have to give full rights to those who are under you. The Prophet, while he was passing away, he said, As-salatu ma malakat aymanukum. Make sure you guard your salah and those who you own, meaning your slaves. Make sure you're kind to them. Make sure you're nice to them. Make sure you feed them properly. Make sure you give them their human rights. And slaves have right, if they want, they can be freed. After the person passes away, they're freed. After his master passes away, they're freed. Or they can get into a contract with the owner that, listen, I know the prisoner of war, you paid money and you bought me. What if I do some business and I pay you back that money? Can I be freed? That's called mukataba. That's going to come later on in the surah as well. They can be freed. So, yeah, it's basically like your servants, which people have nowadays, or butlers, or whatever it is. But back in the days, it was a different system, right? So that's what it means, that which your right hand possesses, meaning your slaves, right? I hope that answers your question. So they shouldn't hit the floor to display their beauty and make their jewelry, hit against each other and basically attract a certain sort of attention. وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا, and make tawbah to Allah, all of you, if you have done any mistake when it comes to these instructions. If you have done something in the past, عَفَى اللَّهُ عَمَّا سَلَفَ, Allah has forgiven what happened in the past. أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, all believers, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, so that you may be successful. Inshallah, we'll continue from this verse next week. Allah Azza wa Jalla give us all hayatan tayyibah. Jazakumullah khairan for sitting. Allah Azza wa Jalla give and write this in our good deeds. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, inshallah, we'll meet next week. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanallah.